Well, I'm back once again with another stimulus check update. And today we're talking about the next stimulus bill, phase 4, good news and bad news. For the second stimulus check update for today, July 21st of 2020. So you want to make sure that you watch this video all the way through till the end of the video, so that way you don't miss out on the special bonus at the end of the video. Give this video a like also as well. We're trying to get this video at least 50 likes on this video, and also so YouTube can promote our channel and our video also as well. So today we have, like I said, good news and bad news. And I'm going to give you the latest, what I know from today, coming from a few articles, and one of them from Channel 2 News in Dayton. And it says a second round of stimulus payments to Americans will be part of the next relief package. That's what Senator Majority Leader Mitch McConnell had said today. But negotiations around the second bill, they're far from over. They're actually just beginning right now. And McConnell had said today, speaking of building on what worked in the CARES Act, we want another round of direct payments to help American families keep driving our national comeback. Now, McConnell, who hasn't specified a dollar amount for the stimulus checks, says the GOP's $1 trillion package will also include a targeted second round of Paycheck Protection Program loans for small businesses, with a special eye toward hard-hit businesses, and $105 billion for education. The Kentucky senator is encountering resistance within his own party, however. Ralph Norman, who is a representative, a Republican from South Carolina, said, "We've already spent $3 trillion of money we don't have. We need a non-cash outlay because we're borrowing the money. We've got to have liability protection. We've got to have a moratorium on the payroll tax." President Trump's administration has also slowed the bill's progress as well, as CNN has reported, with the White House reportedly opposed to Republican-backed funds for the CDC, Center for Disease Control and Prevention, on the C-word pandemic sickness testing and better contact tracing. But both Republicans and Democrats are calling for a speedy resolution to negotiations. I think in the next couple of weeks, we'll come together with some type of compromise. And this is coming from Representative Gina Titus, a Democrat from Nevada. And she continues to say, "I believe it'll include more money for testing. Hopefully it'll include another direct payment and at least an extension of unemployment." Representative Tom Rice, a Republican from South Carolina, said he expects another round of relief checks for individuals to be included in the bill, adding, "Hopefully this will be the last bill and we can get our economy back up and running and move full steam ahead." Now, the future of additional unemployment payments, the $600 a week unemployment boost, which it is a lifeline that allows many to make rent payments or keep their pantry stocked, has also become a central point of negotiations. The payments, which have drawn criticism from the president and Republican members of Congress, they're set to expire by the end of the month, adding urgency to stimulus negotiations in D.C. Now, McConnell said today, that the $600 a week won't be included in the GOP bill, but it will be replaced by an alternative, but declined to specify what that alternative will be, according to CNN's Manu Raj. What needs to be in the relief package are things that incentivize people to work and help our businesses, because the best kind of stimulus is a job, said Representative Fred Keller, who is a Republican from Pennsylvania, who's calling for ending the payment for people to not go to work. During an update at the White House today, President Trump speculated that the bonuses might continue, but with reduced payments. For many Democrats, the continued unemployment assistance is crucial to any stimulus proposal. Now, as we all know, 2 months ago, the House of Representatives passed an excellent bill called the HEROES Act, which would sustain America for another 6 months through all these spikes in the virus we're seeing. And this was said by Representative Jim Cooper, a Democrat from Tennessee. Unfortunately, the Senate was deaf. They did nothing for 2 months. We've got to act now to help people survive this crisis. Now, this is what Representative Jim Cooper, Democrat from Tennessee, said. So as you see here, there are people for the $600 a week plus up in unemployment money, and there's people against it. Mainly, majority of the people for it are the Democrats. The majority of the people against it are the Republicans. Now, keep in mind, however, the Senate is a majority of Republicans. So their vote really holds a lot of weight here. Now, meanwhile, the federal government had incurred the biggest monthly budget deficit in history in June, as spending on programs to combat the C-word sickness pandemic recession exploded while millions of job losses cut into tax revenues. The Treasury Department reported yesterday that the deficit hit $864 billion last month, an amount of red ink that surpasses most annual deficits in the nation's history, above the previous monthly deficit record of $738 billion in April. That amount was also tied to the trillions of dollars Congress have provided to cushion the impact of widespread shutdowns that occurred in an effort to limit the spread of the pandemic. For the first 9 months of this budget year, which began October, the deficit totals $2.7 trillion, also a record for that period. That puts the country well on the way to hitting the $3.7 trillion deficit for the whole year that has been forecast by the Congressional Budget Office. That total will surpass the previous annual record of $1.4 trillion set in 2009, when the government was spending heavily to lift the country out of the recession caused by the 2008 financial crisis. The June deficit was driven higher by spending on various government relief programs, such as an extra $600 a week in expanded unemployment benefits and a paycheck protection program that provided support to businesses to keep workers on their payrolls. The report had showed that the cost of the paycheck protection program in June was $511 billion. That reflected a charge to the government for all the bank loans made under the program, even though the government would not actually have to pay out funds until the banks determined whether the businesses met the criteria for having the loans forgiven. Those requirements include spending at least 60% of the loan amount on worker pay, with the other 40% going to overhead costs such as rent and utilities. So another reason for the surge in the June deficit was the government's decision to delay tax payments this year until July 15th. That decision means that quarterly payments made by individual taxpayers and corporations will not be due until July 15th this year rather than June. So far this budget year, revenues total $2.26 trillion, down 13.4% from the same period last year, while spending totals $5 trillion, up 49.1% from a year ago. The CBO estimate of a $3.7 trillion deficit for this year could go higher depending on the course of the economy. The country fell into a deep recession in February, ending a record-long expansion of nearly 11 years. The Trump administration has predicted that the economy will come roaring back in the second half of this year, but many private forecasters are concerned that a resurgence of the C-word pandemic sickness cases could make consumers too fearful to resume spending, which drives 70% of the economy. Congress, which has already approved more than $3 trillion in a series of rescue packages, is scheduled to debate another support effort when it returns from recess on June 20th. And that was actually yesterday. As you all know, the Senate is back. The Democrats are pushing for an extension of the expanded unemployment benefits, which will soon run out on technically July 31st, but again, technically July 25th or 26th, depending on your state that you live in. Nancy Vanden Houghton, a senior economist at Oxford Economics, said she was expecting that lawmakers would end up compromising on a new economic support package that would fall somewhere between a $3.5 trillion measure passed by the House but not taken up by the Senate, and what is shaping up to be an opening offer for Senate Republicans for a package of around $1.5 trillion. The risk is that the deficit will be larger due to additional stimulus, but given the congressional timetable, the impact of the next package will likely be skewed to fiscal 2021, which starts October 1st. She said, according to this senior economist at Oxford Economics. So basically, the good news here is that we will see another stimulus check. It's been confirmed by Senator Mitch McConnell, who is the majority leader in the Senate, representing the Republicans and the GOP, and the Senate too, basically, who he gave a speech today confirming that they want another round of stimulus check, okay, and direct payments to help American families keep driving our national comeback, according to his words, basically. So this is good news, but the bad news here is that the senators and the representatives in the House, Democrats, Republicans, the White House, they disagree. There's disagreements or contentions, I would say, on the payroll tax cut, especially among Democrats, because according to many Democrats, they believe that the payroll tax cuts benefit mostly the wealthy people, or the rich people, you should say. Multi-billion-dollar corporations, for example, who have hundreds of employees to get tax cut, payroll tax cut for each individual employee adds up to mucho dinero, a lot of money for them. So you're going to profit a lot off of that. Now, for the individual employee, however, unless you're making like maybe six figures a year or more in income, you're really not going to benefit much from this payroll tax cut. So this is not something that would benefit Americans as far as giving that important help, that dire needed help to pay bills, rent, mortgages, and things of that nature, and to get caught up to their bills. But however, one of our viewers had brought it to my attention based on after the last video that we can have both a payroll tax cut and also, an unemployment extension. What they're talking about now, as far as an unemployment extension, is not the $600 a week in extra unemployment money, but however, something lower, like something between $150 and $400 extra a week, actually closer to the $150 a week extra, which is really not a lot of money. So if that does pass into law, then many people who are unemployment will be SOL unless they go out and seek employment, okay, or gain employment, obtain employment. So that's one disagreement. There's other disagreements, not only on the unemployment and the payroll tax cut, but also on the business liability that Mitch McConnell would like to have. And he suggests a 5-year business liability protection for businesses to protect them from being sued by customers who contract the C word sickness in their place of business or employees. The Democrats strongly disagree with that. So we have disagreements on different issues. Now, where they agree on is the next stimulus check. They both agree that there should be another stimulus check. And one thing we don't have any disagreements on, however, is the hazard pay. And we don't have any agreements on the hazard pay either. And that's both good news and bad news. It's good news in a way because no one is talking down about it. Okay, no one's talking bad about it. No one is opposing it openly. If they are opposing it, we don't know about it because I haven't found any articles or any pieces of information or news updates that state any senators or representatives or even the president or Trump's administration who are opposed to hazard pay. So that's the good news. The bad news is that because they're not talking about it, maybe it is not a priority for them in this bill that's being worked on in the Senate right now. So that's the bad news. So it can go both ways. We'll just have to see what happens with hazard pay. So just realize that the discussion, we're in the second day of the discussion in the Senate, and tomorrow we'll be going into the third day. Hopefully we'll have some more good news for you and not too much more of the bad news. But as always, make sure that you subscribe to the channel by hitting the subscribe button below, so that way you won't miss out on the next stimulus check update or future stimulus check updates, because we are doing stimulus check updates every single day, daily here on this channel. And also make sure that you check out the link down in the description underneath the video, and that way you can get more stimulus check update information by joining our Facebook group. There's thousands of members in there, tons of information on stimulus checks. And while you're in the description, make sure that you check out the links to get free money and other helpful resources, links there also. So from all of us here at the How to Get an 800 Credit Score LLC family, stay safe, be blessed, and we'll see you in the next one. See you tomorrow. My name is Lyndon Baptiste, and on this channel we talk about ways to increase your credit score, build credit, and get approved for the lowest payments on mortgages and lines of credit, travel the world for free, earn extra money with cash back. And if that interests you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. That way you'll never miss a single video as we make them.